This is my opportunity to talk to one of my favorite people here at George Ranch, or anywhere for that matter, Jerry Toups. How are you?
I'm great. Couldn't be better.
We're sitting here on September 10th, 2018, on the verge of a big happening for you. Explain that to me.
My first book, The Story of Always Believe, is in the final stages of being published. It'll probably come out on the markets in October. When I came here, my dream was to have an Always Believe scholarship. Not many people get to live and see their dreams come true. And now I guess my goal as a teacher is to spread the impact of inspiring kids to believe in themselves and telling other teachers and even other students the impact of what happens when you believe in yourself.
So this is it's a story about your life, number one, but also a story about how you handled certain difficulties and certain negative things in your life, but brought it forward into a campaign of everyone believing in themselves.
That's correct. You could always look at other people and find someone else that went through worse things than you did. And this book really illustrates that even though I'm really positive in my current life right now, I had some bad things happen to me in my childhood, and I persevered them, and it turned me into who I am, and it helps me connect with the kids that I teach.
Okay, so by day, you're a math teacher here at George Ranch. You came to the ranch via Dayton High School, and you've been working as a math teacher here. But talk to me about how the book came about, how you decided to write a book, and then bring it forward to how somebody can get a copy of it.
When I was in Killeen, my first year teaching, or my last year in college, I started writing inspired phrases. And while I was in Killeen in 1990, when I started my career, I joined a book club. And the first story I wrote was about my dad, and a very impactful story. And then I, over time, just kept writing stories about what happened to me. And I put those together. And then Dave Burgess's book, Teach Like a Pirate, really inspired me. As I read that book, it was like I could have wrote that book, because I do many of the things in that book. So that inspired me to piecemeal my writings together, and then I did the best I could. It's hard to write in words how I create the positive attitude in my room and the inspiration that I don't teach a lesson on how to always believe, but my kids will tell me, thank you for making me believe in themselves. And that basically is the source inspiration of the book. It will come out in October, and it'll be on all the digital bookstores. And I'm going to have a book signing, or B. Dalton's agreed to do a book signing when the book market hits, which probably will be late October, November.
Okay, so it's fair to say that, first of all of the entries in the book, these are things that happened to you in your life, and you have collected those, codified those into a narrative, really, about your life, but then how you chose to take this route of positivity for yourself, but also communicating that to your students.
That's correct. One of my goals as a teacher, and this kind of solidified 10 years ago, is that if your kids describe you with the fruits of the Spirit, you inspire them beyond what anything academic you could teach them. Role modeling those traits and having those kids describe you with those words is extremely powerful. And it's basically the source of the inspiration I have with my kids, and it builds the relationship. And the student-teacher relationship now is like a huge item in education.
All right, so we talked about what you do by day, and you've written this book, and this has been a long time coming because you and I talked about it and worked on it together. I had a small part in that last summer, so now we're 14, 15 months into the future, and you're waiting for it to come out. You also do Friday Night Lights, which is a collection of video clips from all of the Longhorn football games. How did you get involved in that?
I started doing, when I was in Dayton, I became the yearbook sponsor in 2001. And during the summers, I travel up to Camp Cayuga, which is mentioned in the book. And I'm the photographer at that summer camp, and I would take 15 to 20,000 pictures in 6 weeks. And I guess the more pictures you take, the better you get framing them. And in 2004, my junior high students were making big waves in Dayton, and I just took it onto myself to go down there and video and photograph them. And that's when the digital Facebook and all that started. And so I was able to share those pictures with the parents. It's never been about money. It's about chronicling that really magical night that every community gets. I grew up in Port Neches Groves, and I got to see firsthand how Friday Night Lights can impact an entire community. The highlights eventually turned into a voiceover video. I think I started doing the voiceover videos in 2010 when I started narrating them and telling the story of the games, I try to get as many of the kids. That's the single activity in our schools that involves the highest percentage of our kids. That's why I picked that sport. It's just a blessing that I'm here at GRHS High School. 3 years after I got here, we won state with kids shouting "Always Believe" at the camera. And it's just neat to be a part of that and be allowed to be on the field with the kids. It's truly a blessing. This is my 15th year to do this, and I don't think I've missed one Friday Night Light game in 15 years. It's like really an important part of my life.
Well, I know for my part, since my son started playing football when varsity football began, I've seen you out there every Friday night, and if I don't see you, I watch the videos afterwards. So I know that there's been a consistent effort on your part to bring those to everybody, to post them on YouTube so everybody can see what our student athletes are doing, what the cheerleaders, the dancers, and everybody involved are doing.
Yeah, that's why I love Friday Night Lights. You got the band and the drill team, the cheerleaders. It's a big chunk of your kids, and they're involved in that. And just my opinion, that's probably the greatest spotlight those kids will ever perform under. I mean, you're not going to get an audience that large that comes out to watch the kids. And wish it would be as intense as it was at Port Neches Groves where I was. And it's nice to see that I'm a part of that over here in Fort Bend County.
All right, so let's jump back to the book before we sign off here. The book is called The Story of Always Believe. We expect that the digital form of that book will come out maybe the 1st of October, and then shortly thereafter hardcovers or tangible copies will come out, and then there'll be a book signing where you'll be there signing your book and interacting with fans and things of your book. So when that comes out, hope you'll come back and we'll talk about the actual publication of the book.
Yeah, it's really going to be a big year for me. It's just about spreading that message of always believe, and in a way it's thanking all the kids that I've been blessed to have in my life in the classroom and at Camp Cayuga. And if you're part of a kid's happiest memory, it surely creates joy, and the kids can see the joy in my life, and it's a big part of why I do what I do.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Good luck on that, and we'll get back with you in 2-3 weeks when the book comes out in digital form.
That would be great. Thank you for the time.